All right, so you're probably here because, you're trying to navigate this crazy world of, solutions for weight management,
Yeah.
trying to sift through all the noise and figure out what's what.
Yeah, and it is a very loud and crowded room right now
It is very
with all the solutions out there.
Yeah, and today we are going to be taking a focused look at one specific prescription medication, which is Saxenda,
All right.
or liraglutide,
Mm-hmm.
and we're really going to get under the skin of, what it's all about.
That's right. Yeah. The goal of this deep dive is to equip you with a solid understanding of this particular option so you can become truly informed about it.
Yes.
We've gathered some really comprehensive information on Saxenda, and we're going to be extracting those crucial details for you.
And there's some really interesting aspects to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be exploring the science behind how Saxenda influences your brain's appetite signals.
Okay.
We'll be looking at the, really noteworthy weight loss results that were observed in clinical studies, and also some of the essential considerations if this is something you're contemplating.
That's right, because it's not right for everybody.
Right,
It's
exactly.
a very specific, it's for a specific group of people.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
So to start,
Yeah.
what exactly is Saxenda?
Okay, so Saxenda, or liraglutide,
Mm-hmm.
is a prescription medication.
Okay.
It's approved by the FDA for weight management
Okay.
in adults.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's specifically indicated for those with
Okay.
a body mass index, or BMI,
Oh.
of 30 or higher,
Mm-hmm.
which is classified as obese.
Okay.
It's also approved for adults with a BMI of 27 or higher,
Okay.
which is considered overweight.
Yeah.
But in those cases, there must also be at least one weight-related health condition present.
Gotcha.
So that could be type 2 diabetes,
Mhm.
high blood pressure, or high cholesterol.
So it's not just, anyone
Right.
wanting to lose a few pounds.
No, it's targeted towards individuals with these specific health profiles.
Right. So there are clear medical criteria
Exactly.
for its use.
Yes.
And in terms of, how it actually functions in the body,
Mhm.
I understand it belongs to a particular class of drugs.
Yes. Saxenda is classified as a GLP-1 receptor agonist.
GLP-1.
Yeah. And GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide 1.
Okay.
So these medications, they work by mimicking the actions of a naturally occurring GLP-1 hormone in your body.
Okay.
And this hormone plays a vital role in regulating your appetite
Mhm.
and how much food you consume.
Okay. So how does this mimicry of the GLP-1 hormone actually lead to weight loss?
Yeah.
Let's delve into the mechanics here.
Okay.
The information we have highlights that it does, it affects appetite within the brain.
That's right. Yeah. It interacts with an area in your brain
Okay.
called the hypothalamus.
Okay.
And the hypothalamus is like your body's internal thermostat for hunger and fullness.
Okay.
So it's essentially helping to recalibrate that thermostat to a lower setting
Okay.
by activating these GLP-1 receptors in the hypothalamus.
Right.
And that sends signals to your body that you're full. Interesting.
Even if you've eaten less.
Wow. Okay, so it's kind of tricking the brain in a sense
It is in a way. Yeah.
to think it's more full.
Yeah. And that can really help to curb those urges to eat between meals.
Okay. Yeah. I like that analogy, the thermostat.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot clearer.
Yeah. It's a good way to visualize it.
Yeah, how it influences those hunger signals.
Right.
Now, the information also mentions that it slows down digestion.
Mm.
So how does that contribute?
Yeah. So in addition to its action in the brain, Saxenda also affects your digestive system.
Oh, okay.
So it slows down the process of gastric emptying.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rate at which food moves from your stomach into your small intestine.
Okay.
This delayed emptying means you feel that sense of fullness for a longer time after eating.
I see.
And when you feel full for longer, you're naturally less inclined to reach for extra snacks or larger portions.
Right.
Which ultimately leads to a lower overall calorie intake.
So it's like a two-pronged approach.
Exactly. It's dialing down those hunger signals in the brain and
Right.
extending that feeling of fullness
Yeah.
after eating.
It is a very clever mechanism.
Yeah.
It uses.
And that logically results in consuming fewer calories,
Precisely.
which is, the goal here.
Right. This combination of reduced appetite and prolonged satiety
Yeah.
directly translates to a reduction in the number of calories you take in throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
As we know,
Yeah.
achieving a consistent caloric deficit is the fundamental principle underlying weight loss.
Makes sense. Now, our information also touches on some interesting metabolic benefits, such as improved insulin sensitivity.
Right.
Could you explain what that means and why it's significant?
So insulin is a hormone that helps your body use sugar for energy.
Okay.
So if you're insulin sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
your body uses insulin efficiently.
Okay.
Insulin resistance
Yeah.
is when your cells don't respond as well to insulin, leading to higher blood sugar levels. Saxenda has shown the potential to improve how well your body responds to insulin,
Interesting.
essentially enhancing insulin sensitivity and reducing insulin resistance.
So it's not just about the weight loss.
That's right.
There are other benefits.
Yes, and that's a significant benefit, especially for individuals with type 2 diabetes or even those with prediabetes.
That's a really important distinction that
Right.
highlights that, the benefits can extend beyond just, the number on the scale.
Right.
So let's get to the numbers.
Okay.
How effective is Saxenda in terms of actual weight loss?
Okay.
Our sources cite some data from clinical trials.
Yeah, the data from clinical trials is pretty encouraging.
Okay.
When Saxenda is used in conjunction with a reduced calorie diet,
Mm-hmm.
and regular exercise studies have demonstrated that individuals can achieve significant weight loss,
Okay.
often in the range of 5% to 10% of their starting body weight. One notable 56-week study found that on average, the group taking Saxenda experienced an 8% reduction in their body weight,
Okay.
compared to only 2.6% in the group receiving a placebo.
That's a huge difference.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
And, the information even points out
Yeah.
that over 1 in 3 individuals using Saxenda achieved at least 10% weight loss.
Wow.
So these are compelling figures.
They are.
Yeah, for someone who's tried various methods without success,
Uh-huh.
these numbers might offer real hope.
Absolutely. I mean, that is very encouraging
Right.
here.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember, right, that
Yes.
these results were achieved when the medication was used correctly.
Right.
And alongside, those vital lifestyle modifications.
Exactly right. It's not a magic bullet.
Right.
You can't just take the medication and expect to lose weight.
Right.
You have to make changes to your diet and exercise habits.
Exactly.
And it's also important to note that individual responses can vary based on, factors like adherence to lifestyle changes,
Mm-hmm.
individual physiology,
Of course.
and baseline metabolic health.
Right.
These are all areas that are still being actively researched.
Right. Yeah, there's still a lot
Yeah.
to be learned in those areas for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've established who Saxenda is intended for.
Mm-hmm.
To reiterate, it's adults with a BMI of 30 or higher,
Yeah.
or those with a BMI of 27 or higher,
Mm-hmm.
who also have weight-related health conditions.
That's right.
And importantly, individuals who are committed to making lifestyle changes.
Yes, exactly.
So now let's talk about who should not use Saxenda.
Okay.
Are there specific situations where it's contraindicated?
Yes, there are definitely specific circumstances where Saxenda is not recommended.
Okay.
The information outlines several contraindications.
Right.
First of all, it should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
Oh.
Additionally, individuals with a personal or family history of a specific type of thyroid cancer called medullary thyroid carcinoma,
Mm-hmm.
or those with a rare genetic condition known as multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2
Okay.
should avoid Saxenda.
Mm-hmm.
It's also not suitable for people with severe gastrointestinal disorders,
Okay.
a history of pancreatitis or gallbladder disease, or those with significant kidney or liver problems.
So it's really essential that
Okay.
anyone considering this have a
Okay.
thorough discussion with their doctor.
You have to be completely honest about your full medical history
Right.
when talking with your doctor
Yes.
about Saxenda.
Yeah, that's critical safety information.
It is.
Now, if someone is, determined to be a suitable candidate for Saxenda, how is it actually administered?
So it's administered as a once daily subcutaneous injection.
Okay, so it's not,
That means it's injected just under the skin.
right, it's not a pill.
No. And it can be injected in areas such as the abdomen, the thigh, or the upper arm.
Now, the information we have also details a very specific dosage escalation schedule
Mhm.
that's typically followed
Right.
when starting the medication.
Yes.
Could you walk us through that?
Of course.
Because I think the idea of daily injections might sound kind of daunting.
It can.
Some.
Yeah, so to help minimize potential gastrointestinal side effects
Okay.
as the body adjusts to the medication, the dosage is gradually increased over the initial 5 weeks.
Okay.
So treatment usually begins with a dose of 0.6 milligrams per day
Mm-hmm.
during the first week.
Okay.
In the second week, the dose is typically increased to 1.2 milligrams daily.
Okay.
And this continues with weekly increases to 1.8 milligrams in week 3,
Mm-hmm.
2.4 milligrams in week 4,
Right.
and finally reaching the maintenance dose of 3.0 milligrams per day
Okay,
from week 5 onwards.
gotcha. So it's a step-by-step.
Yes, it's a gradual approach.
Yeah, ramp up to the full therapeutic dose.
That's a good way to put it.
And are there any, important practical tips for using Saxenda correctly?
Yes. There are a few key things to keep in mind.
Okay.
It's generally recommended to administer the injection at roughly the same time each day.
Okay.
The medication should be stored in the refrigerator when it's not being used.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps most importantly, the maximum Bailey dose of 3.0 milligrams
Yeah.
should never be exceeded.
Okay.
There.
So gradual dosage increase,
Mhm.
consistent timing,
Yes.
proper storage,
Yeah.
and adhering to the maximum dose.
That's right.
Got it.
Okay.
Now let's discuss something that's often, a
Yeah.
primary concern with any medication, potential side effects.
Of course.
What can individuals expect?
So as with any medication,
Yeah.
Saxenda can have side effects.
Mm-hmm.
The information we have
Yeah.
categorizes these into more common, milder side effects.
Okay.
And less common, but potentially more serious side effects.
All right, so let's start with the common ones.
Cool.
What are some of the milder side effects?
The common milder side effects often include things like nausea,
Okay.
diarrhea or constipation, vomiting,
Yeah.
decreased appetite and fatigue.
Now, those don't sound too bad.
No, they're usually transient.
Okay.
And they tend to subside as the body adjusts to the medication over the first few weeks.
Okay, so just kind of like an adjustment period.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what about the more serious,
Okay, so
although less frequent side effects that people should be aware of?
our sources mentioned some rare but serious potential side effects.
Okay.
These include pancreatitis, which can manifest as severe and persistent abdominal pain, sometimes radiating to the back,
Okay.
and may be accompanied by nausea and vomiting. There's also a rare but serious risk of thyroid tumors.
Okay.
Gallbladder issues such as the formation of gallstones or inflammation of the gallbladder, an increase in heart rate,
Okay.
and kidney problems are also listed as potential severe side effects.
So it's really vital
It is absolutely vital.
that anyone experiencing, severe or concerning symptoms
Yes.
seek immediate medical attention.
Yes. Don't wait.
Don't mess around.
Right. Call your doctor right away.
Yeah, that's a really critical point.
Yeah.
It underscores the importance of being vigilant
Yes.
and maintaining open communication with your healthcare provider.
Right. Keep him in the loop
Yeah.
about how you're feeling.
Now, the landscape of weight loss medications is
Right.
constantly evolving.
It's changing all the time.
Right, new medications are coming out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So how does Saxenda compare to some of the other options that are currently available?
Okay.
Our information specifically mentions Wegovy,
Mm-hmm.
Ozempic, and phentermine.
Right.
So let's start with Wegovy.
Okay, so when we compare Saxenda to Wegovy,
Yeah.
it's important to understand that both belong to the same class of drugs.
Okay.
They are both GLP-1 receptor agonists.
Mm-hmm.
However, Wegovy contains a different active ingredient,
Okay.
semaglutide,
Mm-hmm.
and clinical trials have suggested that it may lead to a greater average percentage of weight loss
Okay.
compared to liraglutide,
Mm-hmm.
the active ingredient in Saxenda.
So it's similar but different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Additionally, Saxenda is administered via a daily injection,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Wegovy is a once-weekly injection.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a big difference.
Yeah, it is.
For some people, that might be, really appealing
Right.
to only have to inject once a week.
Right, fewer injections.
Right, as opposed to every day.
Exactly.
So that's Wegovy.
Mm-hmm.
What about Ozempic?
So Ozempic also contains semaglutide
Okay.
and is also a GLP-1 receptor agonist.
Okay.
However,
Yeah.
it's primarily FDA approved
Okay.
for the treatment of type 2 diabetes
Okay.
to help manage blood sugar levels.
So it's not specifically
Nor-
for weight loss.
No, but it can sometimes be prescribed off-label for weight loss.
Yeah.
But Saxenda holds the specific FDA approval
Right.
for chronic weight management
Yeah.
in individuals with obesity
Right.
or overweight with weight-related conditions.
Gotcha.
So it's similar to Wegovy in that
Yeah.
it contains the same active ingredient,
Mm-hmm.
but its primary approved use
Right.
is different from Saxenda's.
Gotcha. Okay, and then finally phentermine.
Okay, so phentermine works in a fundamentally different way.
Okay.
It's classified as a stimulant-based appetite suppressant.
Interesting.
So while both aim to reduce appetite,
Mm-hmm.
Saxenda achieves this by mimicking appetite-regulating hormones,
Yeah.
whereas phentermine affects neurotransmitters in the brain.
Okay.
Also, phentermine is typically intended for short-term use,
Okay.
often a few weeks to a few months,
Mm-hmm.
while Saxenda is considered a longer-term option for chronic weight management.
I see. So it has different mechanisms of action.
It does.
And different recommended durations.
very
that
different
it uses. Yeah, that was a really helpful overview of how these different medications compare.
Right.
Now, for individuals who are using Saxenda,
Yeah.
what are some, key strategies they can employ
Right.
to really maximize their results?
Yeah. It's clearly not just about taking the injection alone.
Right.
Saxenda is most effective
Yeah.
when it's integrated into a comprehensive and sustainable approach to weight management.
Okay.
Our sources strongly emphasize the synergy
Mm-hmm.
between the medication and adopting a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
This includes consistently following a balanced and nutritious diet
Mm-hmm.
that prioritizes whole foods, lean sources of protein, and healthy fats.
Right. So it's really about making those changes to your
Change it.
lifestyle.
Yeah, it has to go hand in hand.
Right. It's not just a quick fix.
Exactly.
Okay.
Regular physical activity is also crucial,
Right.
aiming for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise
Mhm.
per week,
Yeah.
as recommended by many health organizations. And furthermore, prioritizing adequate sleep,
Mm-hmm.
typically around 7 to 9 hours per night,
Okay.
and implementing effective stress management techniques
Yeah.
to help prevent emotional eating can significantly enhance the benefits of Saxenda.
Wow. Okay. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, it's a holistic approach.
It is very much so.
You really have to be committed
Mm-hmm.
to making these changes.
So it's really about, creating a supportive and healthy overall environment
Yes,
for weight loss and maintenance.
exactly.
Now, our information also includes a helpful, frequently asked questions section.
Okay.
Let's touch on a few of those common queries.
All right.
For instance, how long does it typically take
Okay.
for someone to start seeing noticeable results with Saxenda?
Many individuals will begin to observe some initial weight loss within the first 8 to 12 weeks
Okay.
of starting Saxenda therapy,
Right.
provided they are also adhering to a reduced calorie diet
Right.
and increasing their physical activity.
So you got to be doing those things as well.
Yes, it's important to have realistic expectations
Yeah.
and understand that weight loss is typically a gradual process, with continued progress often seen over the following months as they remain on the medication and maintain those healthy lifestyle habits.
Right. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is?
And what if someone successfully reaches their desired weight loss goal?
Right.
Can they simply stop taking Saxenda at that point?
This is a really important consideration.
Yeah.
Discontinuing Saxenda may lead to weight regain for many individuals,
Oh, wow.
as the underlying biological mechanisms that contributed to weight gain in the first place may still be present.
I see. So it's not
It's not a cure.
like a permanent fix.
No. It's crucial to have an open and detailed conversation with your healthcare provider
Right.
about developing a sustainable long-term plan once you've achieved your weight loss goals.
Right.
This plan might involve gradually reducing the dosage of Saxenda or exploring other strategies to help maintain the weight loss over the long term.
Okay. So it's really important to work with your doctor.
It is.
On that.
Yes, definitely.
Another common question that often arises is whether Saxenda can be effective even without making changes to diet and exercise habits.
Okay.
So what do you think?
While Saxenda's appetite-suppressing effects might lead to some degree of weight loss, even without intentional changes in diet and exercise,
Mm-hmm.
the most significant and sustainable results are overwhelmingly seen when it is used in conjunction with a reduced calorie healthy eating plan and regular physical activity.
Okay.
So combining the medication with these healthy lifestyle modifications really maximizes the potential benefits and contributes to better overall health outcomes.
So it's like it can help,
Yeah, it can,
but it's not.
but it works best when you're making those lifestyle changes.
Right. It's not going to be a miracle cure.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a tool.
And then finally, a very practical question
Hmm.
that many people considering this medication will have.
Right.
Is Saxenda typically covered by health insurance plans?
Coverage for prescription weight loss medications like Saxenda can vary quite significantly depending on a specific insurance plan,
Mm-hmm.
the individual's policy,
Yeah.
and the reasons for the prescription.
Makes sense.
It is always recommended that individuals proactively check directly with their insurance provider
Okay.
to understand their specific coverage policies
Mm-hmm.
regarding medications like Saxenda,
Right.
including any prior authorization requirements or potential out-of-pocket costs.
So don't just assume it's going to be covered.
Right.
Call your insurance company.
Yeah, you got to make sure.
Yeah, and find out.
All right, so as we bring this deep dive to a close,
Okay.
what would you say are the absolute key takeaways.
So the essential points to remember are that Saxenda, by mimicking the natural GLP-1 hormone, effectively helps to regulate appetite and reduce food intake.
Which can lead to clinically significant weight loss for many adults when combined with comprehensive lifestyle changes.
Right.
It's a powerful tool, but it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
Understanding the specific medical criteria for who's a suitable candidate, who should avoid it due to contraindications, how to use it correctly through subcutaneous injection, and that gradual dosage escalation, and being fully aware of the potential range of side effects are all critically important aspects to consider.
It's a lot of information to take in.
But it's important to be informed.
Right.
And ultimately, its effectiveness is greatly enhanced and sustained when it's part of a broader ongoing commitment to healthy eating habits, regular physical activity, sufficient sleep, and effective stress management.
It's not a magic bullet,
Right.
but rather it's
It's a tool.
a significant tool that can be very effective when used responsibly
Right.
under medical supervision.
Yes, definitely.
And as you know, an integral component of a comprehensive approach to long-term weight management and improved health.
That's a great way to sum it up.
Right, so it requires commitment, active participation,
Yes.
and a strong partnership with your healthcare provider.
Absolutely.
You know, it's fascinating to think about, this intricate way
Yeah.
that Saxenda interacts with your body's natural appetite regulation.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the other subtle internal signals
Right.
our bodies are constantly sending us
Yeah.
regarding our overall health and well-being.
Exactly.
And, beyond just hunger and fullness,
Right.
what other cues might we be overlooking or underestimating
That's a great
in our
thought.
daily lives?
Yeah, what other signals are we missing?
Right, and, how could those impact our journey towards better health?
Right. Are we ignoring our bodies in some ways?
Yeah. It's a reminder that while medications can play a role,
Absolutely.
perhaps a deeper awareness
Yeah.
of our body's own complex communication.
Is also a vital piece of the puzzle.
Very well said.
Yeah, just something to contemplate.
Yeah.
Thanks for exploring this with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.